So unmute. Sorry. Hello everyone. I'm receiving today a Lightbath. First, let's launch the intro. Hello everyone. So making sure. Here we are. Okay. Thank you everyone. I see a few people have joined. I've got, who do I have today? I've got DB Poland, Afraster, Linear Maker, Malaki, Mariana, who did I miss? Kako Guzman, and a few more are joining, and everybody is saying hello, waza. All right, let's start. You know my website, pitchymango.org. Please have a check. I want to thank all my subscribers on the Bandcamp. I've got a new one, so it's slowly growing. It's $20 per month. It's like Patreon. It helps me to do the shows, the music, etc. So if you consider sponsoring, become a supporter on Bandcamp. All right. What do we have in? I'm just checking if everybody is happy with the sound and stuff. I think I need to kind of mute a bit my modular. I've got some residual stuff going on. All right, so better. So I've set up the next Resident Electronic Music open mic. It will be on January 12 at 8 p.m. The form to join is up, so I'll give you the link to the next Resident Electronic Music Monthly. So here we go. That's in the chat. So if you want to come and perform, principle is simple. You upload a video of less than 20 minutes on YouTube, you mark it as unlisted, and you fill up the form with the video. You can sign up and upload the video later and come and back and complete the form. So if you want to sign up, you can sign up. You just make a promise. You will have the video before the Sunday, before the show. What do we have? Resonant Frequency is back. So their next show is on January the 3rd from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is a site where you go to get more information about RusticNerd and how to sign up. There's all the information how to sign up. Peronosphora is asking me what did I do for the last month or so. Well, I was shifting house, so that's my new studio. Behind it, there's still some stuff to be done, but I've got internet, I'm streaming, everything looks good on the counters, so that's what I did. So I've moved a little bit and I'm back. And as we are talking about the show, I'll do it every 2 weeks. So the next one will be on January the 2nd, more later. What else do we have? So just after this show, don't go anywhere, just go and grab a drink and come back. I'm hosting Frequency Shift. So they are doing a takeover of my YouTube channel. I will be behind the scene, but it's moderated by Troversy, Space Racer, Calitrix, and Chantal De Felicia, and we've got some really awesome artists. I've seen the video. That's gonna be really cool, and there's an interview. So Frequency Shift, it's a show for women and non-binary music artists. So that will be at 1 p.m. just after the show. That's part 1. Then we'll get to part 2. Is it part 2? No, that's not part 2. I'll give the link for part 2. So I can give you this link for part 1 of the show. So if you want to set up a reminder, so Frequency Shift, sorry, I need to type at the same time. So that's for Frequency Shift part 1. So if you want to set a reminder, that would be awesome. And later on tonight, I'm performing on the Modular Houston. That will be 6 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Central time. So that's Modular Houston. I've got a piece there. So if you want to see me, so that's gonna be a long day. All right. What else? So I would look a little bit on Bandcamp. So the next Bandcamp is on the 5th of February. So I think they're skipping January, but they have decided to do another Bandcamp day. So like me, you just go and select Bandcamp, put them in your wish list. So I just wanted to see what I put in my wish list. I've got Elemental Synthesizers by Intanphone. I read this in your voice back, yes. Signal from Alice by Tangle Wave, Machine to Move Us Across Space by Sign Mountain, who's from the Colorado Modular Society, Hesitant Spirit by Casey Luna, that I think just released his album also. And we are going to talk about the new album also from Lightbath in a minute. All right. Finally, you all know Hugo R. Paris. He was in on one of my previous show. So he started Teeny Crush Mixing, which is his business. And just for you, I need to find it back. Where did I put it? Here we go. So just for you, special discount for Live the Studio. It's a 10% discount. So. Oh my, I don't know to type when I'm talking at the same time. So it's a 10% discount for teenycrushmixing.com. So if you want to get your next album mixed by Hugo Paris, this is how you get it. And you can then pass it on to Nathan Moody for mastering. So that's awesome. All right, it's time to receive my guest, Lightbath. Oh, here is his site. And here's Z.
Oh, hey everybody, I'm just working on my neck here. Just doing some Theragun, you know, getting relaxed. I woke up and my neck was just feeling kind of funny because I started doing pull-ups yesterday. So yeah. How's it going, Frank?
It's going. How are you doing?
Good, I'm great. Yeah, I started exercising yesterday. Well, no, I've been exercising for a while, but I started doing pull-ups yesterday because of Corey Allen, right? I was on his the Astral Hustle podcast last week or whenever it was. Time is weird, right? Yes. And we've been talking about like health and wellness and all this stuff, and he told me a little bit about his like exercise routine, and I realized I have this pull-up bar that I thought wouldn't fit anywhere in my current place that I'm living, but I realized there's one door that'll fit on, so I put it on and I'm doing pull-ups again, and it feels great because I've been doing all this cycling and biking and mountain biking, and I was like working on my lower body, and I figure I need to work on the upper body, so yeah, and then I pulled my neck out. So that's my story.
That's interesting. Yeah, my exercise used to be moving my modular case from show to show.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that was what happened to me when I lived in New York, when I lived in Brooklyn, and I was like going to music school. I was going to school at the New School in Manhattan, and this was back like before Modular, and so I had a bunch of guitar pedals and a guitar, and so it was so heavy. I had like, at one point, I had like a pedal board that I put into like a top loader ice climbing backpack. It was like the only backpack that would fit. And I would put the pedal board on the backpack and I would carry my guitar. And I literally like gave myself physical issues because of carrying that every day to and from school. It was the worst. So yeah, I know what you mean. I feel your pain.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea to get a performance case, which is quite large, and it's a 14U. And then once I loaded with all the module, it doubled in weight. And now I've got to have a trolley to carry it around because I can lift it, but not more than 5 minutes or something like that.
Well, that's what happened to me with the pedal board, right? Because it was too heavy on my back. And then what I decided to do was I got this like old M Audio bag that was like a backpack made for like gear and stuff. And I put it on a little cart, a little trolley cart. And it was easier, except when I was climbing up and down the stairs to get on the subway and get off the subway. So it was just as bad. And I ended up like really working on getting these muscles messed up. So it's now that I have something like this that I can actually like address it. So yeah, but you know, I had a 12U MDLR case, one of Arjan's first cases back in the early days when he was making cases, and you know, it was like solid wood. It was like solid plywood. I don't know if that's solid, but and it was so heavy. I didn't think either. I was like, 12U, I'll have so much gear, it'll be great, because I wanted a 12U forever. And I got the thing, and even with a cart, it was just too heavy. So I ended up, you know, selling it, and I got that what's the one that I used, the submodular. It's a lot lighter. But still, 12U is heavy, you know?
Yeah, I've got the MDLR case, 14U, but I've seen that he's starting to make some in metal. So I hope that reduces.
I noticed he started making a lightweight case after that. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it was solid case, and it was designed really nicely because you took off the spacer piece and you attached it to the back, and it would allow the top case to like lean backwards at the perfect angle. It was amazing. But you know, I just wasn't strong enough to carry it. I discovered that when I had my first like real gig as Lightbath, and it was Danny Kim. Shout out to Danny Kim, Distortion Productions, Bay Area cat. He had me out to San Jose. Every year would have this festival. What was it called? Oh, I'm forgetting the name of it right. Sub-Zero Festival. It was like a downtown San Jose festival. And he had me come out to that, and Art Benny played it, and Robert Ike Aubrey Lowe was the headliner. Oh, I should give more of the shout outs. Red Stripe Down played, Sunfalls played, James Sigler played, and Tomio, what's Tomio's last name? I'm sorry, Tomio, I forget your last name.
Udeo?
Yes, wait, what did you just say?
Udeo, I think.
Yes,
Tomio
yes.
Udeo.
Yes.
Tomiko.
And I forget if anyone else that I'm forgetting did, but basically I was so stoked that Robert Ike Aubrey Lowe was headlining, and it was an honor because I learned modular from him. You know, I was living in Brooklyn, and no, I don't have the Brooklyn accent. Who asked that? That wasn't Lenny.
Peronosphora asked.
Oh yeah. So no, Brooklyn. I don't have that accent, but I was living in Brooklyn, and I was started on modular, and so I went to Control, and I used to just hang out there and like watch Rob do things and show me things. So I learned from Rob, I learned from Darren, you know, so yeah, Darren, one of the owners. So yeah, and who else would be there? Max Ravitz would be there, and who am I forgetting? He was in a band with Max called Jalili Fields, and I'm just blanking on his name, but he was really good too. So yeah, good times.
And we made contact with the New York Modular Society also. There's plenty, Modular Society, Colorado, Houston, New York, Seattle, nice. SoCal, and our society here, kind of left coastline. And Sub-Zero is the place where we met for the first time.
That is where we met. You and I met there. Yeah, that's right. Man, that was just amazing. I took that as like the universe telling me I was on the right path, because I had literally maybe only a month or two before I got the call from Danny to do that, I had decided, all right, I'm gonna do this Lightbath thing. I'm gonna give this a go. I want to try to be a musician. I mean, I'd always been a musician all my life, but I had always focused on other things as primary, you know?
Yeah.
I focused on teaching. I focused on teaching this music lessons company that I had put together in Brooklyn with like 40 different teachers. I had focused on my partner's business at the time, doing like web development for her. So always my like work focus was elsewhere. And I just was getting burnt out, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like start making these videos and do this stuff. And within a week or two of making that decision, I get this call that they want to fly me, that Danny was gonna fly me out there for this. You know, it's my first like out of town gig as a solo artist. So yeah,
that's
as an independent artist.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Danny has, being really helpful, and was one, in the Bay to have a recurring show. He started with a Binary Society, and then Sub-Zero was a...
That's right. That's what his thing was called. This was Binary number 8, I think. It was the 8th Binary. And Richard Devine was on the 7th or 6th one, right?
I think it was, it was after this one. So, because how do you call it? I was a roadie for Danny. I say, you're doing this show, can I help you? So
yeah,
I used to come to the show and be a roadie, help set up and stuff like that.
And, well, I mean, I'm sure any help is needed in that. I mean, it's like, I'm surprised he pulled it all off, and got video of it,
Yeah.
But that was the first time I just realized. I remembered while you were saying that was the first time I met Art Benny in person.
Yeah,
So that was picked me up from the airport.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and Ben is really cool, and and I saw him. I think I came in the Bay Area, then I learned about this show, so I went not to the first Binary Society, but I think I don't know, was it the fourth one where Benny did his launch for his first album?
Oh wow! What a momentous occasion! What a piece of like history from this little thing, this scene we have going on, whatever you want to call this. What's going on with these modular stuffs? But that's great. I remember when that album came out. That was big.
Yeah,
Still took me a few years to release an album, and after that.
Yeah, that was awesome, and so Danny and Albany, are quite often together, and Danny still organize, kind of little private show, and then we can get together. But Robert came back for the San Francisco Electronic Music Festival, so I was able to say hi, know that I knew him.
Yeah,
and
he's just we got to give him a little bit more on here. I've got to talk a little bit more about it. He's a master. If you want to talk about like the masters of this instrument, like calling the modular synthesizer an instrument, he is a master. His sets are great. I mean, I love what he does with his voice. All music aside, every time I've seen him play, it has sounded different. And the first time I saw him play was probably back in 2013 or 14. So this was like 2 years before I had even started on modular. And there was a thing at, I think, Silent Barn, which is no longer, but Silent Barn in Brooklyn, in Bushwick. And there was an event that sort of Control was holding, and I forget what it was called, but he played on this little, like, I think it was like an 84 HP 12U, like two 84 HP cases, that when they closed, it couldn't be patched. So it was too tight. It was too close when they would close. It was like this, looked homemade, the case almost. And so he sat down on the floor and he opened his case up and he spent maybe 10 or 15 minutes patching. And then he played.
Yeah, I'm not.
And in my mind, because I'm like, dude, you're coming up, not only are you improvising your set, but you're literally improvising your patch. And I haven't done that, and I don't know if I ever will. But he even did that when we saw him at Binary 8, because he had the submodular case. He had just one of them, right? He had like a 6U submodular with a little tiny case off to the side that was just holding Renee and the little PEQ, the ALM EQ that like comes from the Tascam 424 circuitry. But he just had those offside, and he was on a table off to the side. And as I'm like making sure everything's set up just right and making sure everything's cool, he's literally like, let's see, I think I'm going to patch this into this, and I'll do this and this. So yeah, it's really impressive on all levels, that guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find the site for Binary Society.
Everybody here is probably aware that Robert was one of the musical contributors to the the film Arrival, with those like the aliens that are heptapods.
Oh, really? Because the music was from
Johan Johansson.
Yes, that's some music.
He worked with Johan. So like some of the story here is like there's a video out there of this somewhere I saw, but Johan had the theme for the heptapods, like the musical motif that happens when the heptapods are like, a character that and he gave that pitch set to Robert. It was just like, 4 notes, 5 notes, just, and I was like, here. And so Robert then sings that pitch set in through his modular and does all that. And that is what you hear as the heptapod theme. So yeah, and I think he may have done some more themes with it, but that's the one that I actually saw like a little behind the scenes action on. Yeah.
I found Binary Society 8 Sub-Zero Festival. Putting it on the screen so for people. And we've got the full name, Tomio Uedea. You there. I'm not sure how to say Tom your last name.
I'm looking.
Yeah. And also, later on I saw you at Mockfest. You were coming, you were kind of a regular of Mockfest?
Yeah, I've done it twice now. And then of course last year it didn't happen in 2020, but it was planned to not happen anyway though.
Yeah.
I hope Mockfest continues in the future. I mean, I hope events continue in the future, but I mean, once events come back online and we're all offline and back into the physical world, I hope that Mockfest does it. I know they're under new management now, so who knows? But yeah, I'm so grateful to have gotten to be a part of that. 2018, my first Mockfest, was a very strong year for Lightbath. I don't know who here was following Lightbath, but I've just been like reminiscing lately, with all the non performance opportunities there are this year. I've just been thinking about like what happened, and as I got ready to release Selected Public Works 5, which is out now, right? It released a couple weeks ago. I was thinking about Selected 3, Selected 4, which were kind of, some of those were made in 2018. And man, yeah, that performance was a good one. I was a good set for me. And then I followed up that set. Here, I'll back off. I'll back up here. I'll tell a little bit of a story. So you all might be familiar with Arcology, the Arcology piece that I have on YouTube. It's the only one I have that's like more than 200,000 views. It's like up to 400,000 now or something like that. It's a lot. And my whole channel pretty much rides off of it, right? Like it's, but that piece was made in Arco Santi, Arizona. And I went there to go to this like weekend retreat. I won't tell the whole story because I tell this whole story on some of the recent appearances I've had, like Kim Bjorn's Patch and Tweak IG Live. I tell the story. I think I tell the story on Modular Modcast with Tim Held. So I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I did that, and it was like a turning point for me. And then I ended up being offered some house sits on the West Coast, in LA, and then later in Portland. And that's when I was making those pieces like, somebody help me. I forget what does Selected Public Works 4 start with? I'm just forgetting the name.
Let me bring it for you.
It's the MLK quote. It's the Martin Luther. I made it on Martin Luther King Day 2018. So
Garment of Destiny. There's a verse track.
Garment of Destiny. Yes. So that was the first piece I made on the West Coast. I was staying at this amazing apartment in Venice Beach, like on the beach, and so and Benny came down and we went to NAMM, and it was just a great time. And I made all those pieces there, and then I was coming back east to play Mockfest because I knew Mockfest was coming up and I was supposed to do it. And so I played that, and then I went to Brooklyn and house set for somebody in Brooklyn and made The Hermit. And then Emily A. Sprague was like, hey, I'm playing at Commend. Do you want to play too? And I was like, yeah. So that ended up turning into that cassette that Revenge and Commend released. So it was just like boom, 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 all these things in a row. And it was all working. And I attribute it all pretty much to the work that I had done, like on myself, like the emotional, psycho-spiritual work I had done in the fall when I had pretty much like burned to ashes, like when my whole life changed and I went through basically a relationship change, but it was a divorce. And so like that switch, like I really went to a low place and I really started working on myself and started being like, okay, I can get back out of this. And little by little, step by step, by January, the universe had caught up to this like momentum that I was feeling, right? That I was like focusing on. And so it just kept going. And then it chilled out a bit after Commend. The Commend set was kind of the peak, and it pretty much dropped off after that. But I've been working on building it back slowly. I'm ready for another peak. Are y'all ready for another peak? Another Lightbath peak?
Yes. It's nearly about time to do the music performance. But also, I remember you introduced me to Emily also at Mockfest.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait.
Yes.
No, I don't think was she at Milkfest?
Was it Emily? Yeah, I think it was Emily.
I cannot remember if Emily actually. Oh wait, Milkfest 2018. She did play there, didn't she?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were all in the armory. I forgot maybe listening to Susan Chani.
She had that set at the church.
Yes.
Okay, I remember. Emily, I'm sorry, I forgot that even happened. That was beautiful. The lights.
Yeah.
There was like projection mapping or something, or at least like light mapping. It was beautiful. I hope I can play one of those churches in the future for Moogfest, whatever that church is in Durham.
Yes.
My 2019 Moogfest set was great, but it was in I forget the name of the venue, but it was great to have my own thing though, because the first 2018 was Modular on the Spot. So shout out to Rodent for that. The Rodent's the one that got me there. Like I went to Moogfest in the first place because of Rodent, and then the next year they asked me to come because they had seen me do that. So Rodent enabled that. Another super connector person,
Yeah, I met him. I went to I think that was my last Moogfest, before the year all shut down. So 2019, I think it was. So I went to Moogfest, and then I went to Asheville to perform at local 604 Bottle Shop, which is run by Chris Simadi.
Yes. No, wait. Local 604. That's in Nashville. Yes, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's in Nashville.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend in Nashville, and I wanted to see the Moog Factory and the place, and a friend, also sponsored me to go there. Cool. And so that was a nice place. And I went to Make Noise to meet Rodent. And also in Nashville, you've got Jerry, who's usually the one who demonstrates sequential.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've met, but I have been to Local 604. In fact, fun fact, the images that I've been using as my main press images, with all the colors and the light on my face, that was actually from a Modular on the Spot at that place at Local 604. I don't remember who was doing the visuals, but he was tending the bar area and doing visuals, I think, at the same time. So whoever he is, he was great. And that's what that light across my eyes was. And then I just played with it in Photoshop to make it,
Was it Illumination Station?
Oh, was it? Maybe it was. That would make sense.
Because it used to be a video and an audio. And so, yeah, it was on the first part of, our show. And I saw recently he just renamed himself because he does Modular from Mushrooms.
Modular from Mushroom? Wait, he's on mushrooms when he does Modular? What did you say?
Maybe, I don't know. But, he puts some, not contact mic, but...
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. I've been watching this person doing that, or maybe it's another person, but it's always a different, not a culture. What do you call it when you're growing mushroom? Whatever that is. But different types of fungi. And... what a cool idea. Speaking of that, I've got the new Plant Wave. I've got a beta of the Plant Wave, which is the new MIDI sprout. It's coming out soon. I think Plant Wave is going to start shipping the real units with the cork. It's a cork case. So it's beautiful looking. And it's basically a wireless version of the MIDI sprout with better functionality. And which, by the way, if anybody wants to buy a Plant Wave, you can use the code Lightbath to save, I don't know, what is it, 10 or 20% or something? I don't remember how much you save, but whatever. It's a really cool thing, and it's the same idea as whatever he's using. It's just not modular. It's taking MIDI, it's getting MIDI information from it, and then you just have to use your, I'll say yarns for it because I'm old school. Yeah. Or your ES, or your FH2, maybe.
Yeah.
Or your Hermod.
Well, Expert Sleepers does everything.
How do you say the Hermod? How do you say that module name?
Hermod?
Okay. Well, just because they're French. Squarp is French, so I just wanted to hear how it sounded when you said it.
I don't know. Yeah. If I have to say it in French, yeah. Hermod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hermod. Yeah. Hermod.
Yeah. It's not. It's Hermod.
Hermod. Yeah. Hermod. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. So should we play some music?
Yeah, I think it's a time. I'm just checking on the, on the chat a little bit. Who joined? There's Swan64. There's Alex Barnett, Lenny Ameka. I think I saw it. Otto Leon. I saw some other people earlier. So if you've got any question for Lightbath, just put it on the chat, and then we'll talk about it. I've been moving around, showing your album, your YouTube channels. I haven't gone to your Patreon and Instagram. We'll get there. All right. Great, so thanks. Everybody is ready for the performance. So please bear with us. It's a live performance, so it's streaming live. And let me see if I've got everything. That looks okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to I didn't want to watch myself playing something in the past. Let's make this music now. Let's do this.
Yes. All right. So I'm moving to the live stream, and I'm going to cut my mic and put the RTMP on, and whenever you're ready, you can go.
I didn't want to...
You're live now. Go for it.
Great. All right. oscillators get out of tune. I didn't touch a thing. What makes it happen? Who knows?
Yeah. There you have it. Oh, wait. I think Frank's muted. Hey, let's play the counting game we did earlier. I'll just say 1, 2, 3. Watch this, everybody. 4, 5. There you have 6, it. 7, 8. Oh, it might be forever delay now. Muted. Well, whatever. The past me that loops back into Frank's audio counts again. I'll mute this audio so that it doesn't happen twice. I'm going to mute the stream. Say 1. Oh, I turned my video off. 4, 5. There. Oh. 6. Hey, everybody. 7, I'm back. 8. Oh, it might be more of a delay now. Well, whatever. The past me that loops back into Frank's audio counts again. I'll mute this audio so that it doesn't happen twice. I'm going to mute. Hey, our Benny's in the house. Our Benny's in the house. Look at that. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the applause and the claps and all that good stuff. I didn't get to see any of your comments or anything, but thanks for being here and thanks for watching and listening and being a part of that. That felt good.
Oh yes, and I was muted. So let's start by Benny. Let's start for the first question. Let's start by Benny's. So where was the drop?
Wait, what drop? Wait, what?
What?
What's that?
No, he was joking. You know, this is not a techno piece. There's no drop.
I wish I understood the joke you're making because I know it's funny. Okay, so where's the drop? Our Benny, where's the drop?
No, it was, because people do, dancing stuff, so there's always a drop, like in a techno piece.
Oh,
you
music,
cut.
like a drop.
Yeah, you
Where's
mute everything drop? And then.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, like, I was listening to, okay, let me try to remember his name now. I'm forgetting. G. Jones. Does anybody know about G. Jones? Bass music? Like, I discovered G. Jones last year. Tangential Zones is pretty good. I think that's the one I'm listening to. I was listening to, I thought it was an EP, whatever I was listening to. I think it's newer than Tangential Zones. It is amazing. Like, the dude can make, I don't want to say dude, well, the artist can make, ambient music, and it's, so psychedelic, and then the drop happens and then the music comes in and it's insane and it's so intense, and I'm just like, if only I could have that amount of breadth, that amount of dynamics in my music. Wow, something to aspire to. But G. Jones is ridiculous. So where's the drop? When our Benny, I'm calling myself our Benny, when Lightbath
no, you can ask when Benny perform, where was your drop? Because you're all, master of the ambient modular.
Right, here's the drop. Oh, wait.
There we go. I've got a few questions. So there was one from Alex Barnett. How long has this patch been up prior to playing today?
Great question. So I don't remember exactly, but I do know that I talked about this patch and used it on the Patch and Tweak talk with Kim Bjorn last week. And also, I think, yes, this is the patch that I also used on Modular Modcast, and I do a 10-minute performance on that too. So if everybody goes and listens to that podcast, you can compare how pretty different I think this felt. I know I was in a different key, but I still had the same voices, so I still had the fourths, fifths kind of thing happening on mini plats down here, micro plats, and I had the bass, that's the same, and I have rings through the noise and stuff, and rings into clouds. Shout out to Rings into Clouds. Where are my Rings into Clouds people at? And then I have my STO's voice, so it's the same setup and the same patch. It's just, and even the same sequence. Okay? Right? Like, my sequences, I talk about this with Tim on that podcast. My sequences aren't really like sequences. They're just seeds to start an idea, and then they get changed by the time they go in here, and they get shaped in real time. So it doesn't really matter what's coming out of this exactly. It's just the more organized it is, the more, the nicer the shapes can sound that come out of it once I start doing things with it. So it's hard to say, but I do know when I was talking with Tim on Modular Modcast that I think I had already had it up for, I don't know, like a week or something, because I had been working on a thing with it and was recording it and stuff. And then just the other night, I recorded something with this, a new zone that it created. So that's the thing. This is my performance patch. And so the performance patch is like an iterative thing over long periods of time. And it started, this type of performance patch probably started at MokeFest 2018, like when I was preparing for that. Like I got this case when I was in Portland. Shout out to Red Stripe Down again for hooking me up with that. Or, I bought it, but you know what I mean? So, but for sending that out to Portland. And what had happened? Oh yeah, right, the Loom. That's when I made all those Loom things. It's when Platts was released, when Marbles was released, and when Stages was released. And so this case used a lot of that. I started incorporating those into my setup. And I've just been working on it ever since. I've been making little changes to the voices and the instrumentation, sort of, and then how I orchestrate those instruments in real time is what is improvised.
And Benny say if you play the three performance together, a portal opens.
Did our Benny say that?
Yes.
Yeah, of course he did. That's a good one. Yeah, exactly. Except the first, it would sound terrible because it was in the key of C major and then E flat major, and those two are going to rub so hard. I'm sure it'll open a portal. It's like, okay, did anybody see? It's this. What was it? Billy Joel. I think it was Billy Joel. Every Billy Joel song played at the same time, slowed down 8 times through like pulse stretch. There's a video on YouTube of that. Every Billy Joel song run through pulse stretch, played at the same time. It's terrifying. So I can imagine this might sound a little bit like that. Everybody should go look that up. So, yeah.
Yes. We'll check that. Lachlan Fisher was asking, how do you think about harmony? What does you do to prepare for a performance?
Cool. Awesome. Great. Another good question. I keep putting this in front of the
It's
camera.
okay.
So harmony, how do I think about it? I check out the book. Oh, I have it down here. Let me just grab it so you can see it. I just have to like bring my leash along so I don't
put everything down.
Okay, so the book Harmonic Experience by this French guy, W.A. Mathieu. And it is a huge book. It's like a textbook. It's like a school textbook, pretty amazing. I have only gotten, maybe only that far in the 2 years since I've been studying it. I learned about this book from Walker. Shout out to Walker at Make Noise. And it starts off with the unison, and then the octave, and then the fifth. And it basically goes through the harmonic series, the notes that just happen naturally in this world we live in, right? And so I am comfortable pretty much up to that fifth. And past that, like, things start to get a little iffy, because once you go past the fifth, like, what would it be, 2 times past the fifth? Let's see here. Can you all hear that?
Yeah.
Let me turn it up a little. Listen to all that noise modulation. Here, wait. Where's my mixer? There we go. So once you go past the fifth, then you get the second, and you get the sixth, then you get the third. By the time you go up that far, you've got Bach. You've got like Johann Sebastian Bach. Like, it's way too complex for me to be able to juggle. Like, that's too many notes. Actually, that's all the number of notes I use. But when you go past that, then it's truly Bach. So I start at the bottom, and I just go by intervals and my ear. And so start with like what feels like you can have a good handle on. And I come from guitar, so I played a lot of power chords way back in the day. Power chords are root and fifth. That gives me the way to go, but then I just stack them. So I do that, and then I just like change keys by like adding or subtracting a sharp, you know, like add a sharp, then it goes to like C goes to G, G goes to D, D goes to A. Subtract sharps, C goes to F, F goes to B flat goes to E flat. That's circle of fifths. That's how I do it. Yeah, I've got some, what are they called? When I was like promoting my creative mentorship thing that I've got going, because, you know, I've got this Patreon and I've got this creative mentorship program in there where there's people who study with me like one-on-one, right? Like, of course there's that. And I've been doing that for like 20 years, but, you know, before I was Lightbath, right? Back when I played guitar, I've been a teacher. But I've got this creative mentorship thing for people that like don't want to toss out all the scratch to be able to like meet one-on-one. It's like a little more affordable. You could just like ask questions, and then I make like a video answering everybody's questions. So when I was promoting that stuff real hard, if you go to my Instagram, I have some like videos that are edits of those sessions. I stopped editing those sessions because it was just like way too much work to go through like a 2-hour deep dive and like try to make it Instagrammable. But in that, I talk pretty heavily about a lot of theory and stuff, like the way I'm seeing and hearing things and understanding things. And even in the edits that you can see on Instagram, you can glean some good stuff from it. So just scroll back my feed, scroll back until you see like creative mentorship something, and go through those videos. So yeah, that's my answer.
I show your Patreon and your Instagram, so I pasted the link
thank you.
at the same time. Let me put back.
Oh wait, what was the second part of the question that I didn't even answer? So that's how I think about harmony. And then the second part of the question was, how
do you prepare right for a performance?
Yeah. I didn't prepare at all for this one. And so if I am comfortable with my performance patch, like if I haven't just made a change, I don't need to prepare, right? It's just the patch is going to do the work if I just like stop and listen.
So
right.
So maybe how did you do the first time?
So yeah, but what'll happen is I will play. I'll be like, you know, this is in the past, right? I'd be called up to do. I've gotten an email to like play Moogfest, right? So I will like, it'll be 2 months beforehand or something, let's just say, and I will start. No, I will get the call like 4 months beforehand. But then 2 months beforehand, I start going, okay, I better come up with what I'm gonna do. And then half of the time in the past, I would just be like, oh, I want to use this new thing, and I'm going to try out this new idea. I would try all these new ideas, and then I would spend probably the first month preparing, trying all the ideas and failing on them and having them not work. And then it would be like 2 to 4 weeks before I have to play, and I will be all distraught, and I'll be thinking like, oh no, what am I going to do? Like,
my life is ending.
I'll end up going back to something that I've already. Sometimes, you know, I'll go back to something that I've already like practiced a little bit that I know, or it'll be some sort of like amalgam of the old and the new. Because it's nice to have a new thing when you're doing a new performance, because it sort of guarantees that the music is going to sound different, because you have to interface with this new patch, these new modules, this new approach, something. So there's usually a part of the old and a part of the new in it. But this patch is actually very, very similar to this, what I was saying, this 2018 thing. I went back. Like for a while, I'd been using Renee 2 and all this other stuff. It's like what I did on Moogfest 2019. And so I've been like oscillating, for pun intended, for the last like couple years between approaches. And I just wasn't feeling it, and it just wasn't working for me. So I went back to this monome approach where the seed is more organized, not as loose, and it works really well. And so I'm liking it. So I think I'm gonna do more of this. So yeah.
That's cool. And I have a question from DB Poland, you know, Wabi Sabi, and I think also Lenny has got the same. What were you using to do a reverse voice? To do the reverse on the
you
voice?
heard that? Great. I wasn't even sure if it was that obvious. First, though, I will say, if that was a Vanilla Ice reference when I was like, all right, stop, and I was waiting for somebody to say that. So thank you, Lenny, for having me back with a brand new edition. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? I don't know. All right. Yeah, I know that. I'm embarrassed to say. Apparently not too embarrassed if I said it. So I actually used Magneto. Because if you hit this button, the transport button, you can toggle on and off the second head LED, and that sends it into reverse. So that's what I was doing for reverse. However, I'm wondering if you interpreted some of the envelope shapes that were happening with... Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah. With... Here, let's hold on. Let's get all the reverb off of that. Wait, we're hearing the delay now. Oh, because it's reversed. So I was wondering if you were interpreting some of the envelope shapes like that kind of stuff as reversed. Because you know how like anytime there's a softer attack, it can sometimes seem like it's reversed. And so just really playing with envelopes in Just Friends through the delay. And then I also am using the, over on the desk that you can't see, I'm using the hologram electronics microcosm, but it's not on a reverse. It's actually on a multi-delay right now. So I'm just using that instead of, I usually would use BIM over there, and I'm just using that right now just to try something different. But yeah, although I really like the grit that BIM brings. You can like hit it hard, and it doesn't sound bad. It actually sounds good. So and if you want a great example of that, listen to my set where I lose my voice. Listen to my set, my Asheville Modular on the Spot set, which is at local 70...
604.
Number, Frank?
Local 604.
Yeah, which is at that place. It's the one that looks like my press image. That thing is just cranked on the BIM. I was just hitting the BIM so hard, and it's got this gritty, like amazing sound. So yeah. Yeah,
local 604 Bottle Shop. They've got a YouTube channel, if I recall.
I was thinking 7. Okay.
I'm not sure what the 604. I think it's a street address, or maybe it's related to some other things.
Yeah. The reverb in the rack is the BAM, and Magneto was on shift mode. Because I only pretty much ever use shift mode because it repitches things and retimes things, and it helps to make this tapestry. It helps to weave this woven thing that I wax poetic on a bit with on the Patch and Tweak IG Live talk on We Make Bukes Instagram. All
right, Albany wants to borrow your beam. No, he wants one.
Ton to respond with.
I've had another question also from Alex. I had another question from Alex Barnett. How much of Dispatch was generative versus programmed?
Yeah, good. Well, the thing is, it's like everything now for me is pretty much this hybrid with the performance cases. The performance cases are not generative, are not like strong generative approaches because they're too hard to wrangle. It's just too much. It's like something could go wrong and the whole thing goes. I only make like true generative. I don't even know if I ever make true generative, but I only make like generative stuff when I'm making like a specific video. The patch is specific to that, or a specific piece or whatever. But it's all a generative process in that I'm starting with a seed here and then abstracting it through rhythmic envelopes, and then abstracting it through a woven delay, right? So I call that generative because the output is greater than the input, right? Like what you're putting into it, by the time it comes out, it's unrecognizable, right? So that's generative. And then you could call marbles generative, right? That's marbles was playing plats and rings and the bass. The bass and plats were on the same channel. So they were synced up so they could do this. Right? They're happening together. So that's generative in that it's just sampling random, right? So it's, marbles is kind of the like all-in-one generative module in a way. That said, I plan to use marbles as a random module, not as a musicological processor, right? Not as a music generator, but as just a random generator, because it's actually really strong in that way. And Todd Barton and I have a project we're going to be doing coming up at some point next year. And we actually have another project that's coming up before that. We have a video together it's going to be awesome. And but Todd and I are going to do something Krell based. And I'm going to make a Krell patch using the modules that I own that can mimic what he can do on his booklet. And so when I thought about it, I realized like marbles will be the perfect source of uncertainty for my Krell patch.
That's interesting. We passed a little bit the top of the hour, so it's going to be the time to start to...
it's 3 in the east here.
Yeah, start to wind up a little bit. Sure. What's coming up for you?
Oh, yeah. So what is coming up is so exciting. I'm so excited to be not doing anything.
Can you put back the main video? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I forgot I had that on there. Thanks.
All right.
I'm so excited to announce that I'm clearing out my schedule so as to not have anything happening soon. And what that anything is I hope to, I'm going to go inward more and get in the studio and make my first studio album. That's the plan. But in order to do that, I had to clear out all these obligations, and I'm still clearing them out. And I was hoping January 1st, 2021, fresh start. I don't know if I'm going to make it in time because it's 2 weeks, not even, until it's 11 days or 12 days or something. Oh, it's the 12th day of... No, it's Christmas. So the plan is to, at some point within January and February, to be focusing on just being quiet, making music. I mean, I'm still going to be teaching. I'm still going to be doing the stuff with Patreon and all that. But I'm not going to be saying yes to all of these opportunities that come out, so as to which end up taking my attention away from making the actual album I've been trying to make for the last 5 years. So that's the plan. That said, I'm going to plug the album again. Have you all bought the album? There are cassettes left, so you haven't all bought it. I can tell you haven't bought it yet. I have cassettes right over here, and those cassettes need to be in your cassette decks. So head over to lightbath.bandcamp.com and get that thing.
I'm putting the link of the album again.
Thanks.
And yeah, that was released last Friday, not the one week ago, if I recall.
Was it only 1 week? Man, time is doing this thing right now. It's hard to... Oh, man. Wow.
I would have liked to...
It was only 1 week. Yeah. Well, it was a dense week, and I've been to the post office a bunch.
Yeah. I would have liked to do this show just after the release, but we were shuffling boxes between houses.
Oh, that's right. You were moving. That's right. We were trying to get this right on, do it as a release party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, I had a release party that was mountain biking at this sort of mini downhill park. These really short downhill trails that have big jumps and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And yeah, I get the feeling also, that not doing any performance because, you have to set up a patch or you have to prepare your audio, and then you're changing all the audio that you've been working for making the album. So sometimes you just I don't want to touch anything on my audio system because I'm working on something.
And not even the physical devices, but it's switching gears. Even just editing a video, even if I don't have to change any gear around and I'm trying to prepare and edit, I need to be able to just get up, make music, have at least some days where at least a couple days throughout the week where I can just make music, focus on that. I love then being able to like work on something one day, go to sleep, open it right back up the next day and see where it belongs that day, and continuing this like trajectory, this like arc of like working on something. So yeah, at least that's the thing. I hope I can make it. If I can't make an album this way, then I don't think I'll ever be able to do it, right? So if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You have to try.
From Art Benny, he's like releasing. How many albums did Art Benny release this year? What, like 5? A lot.
Yeah, there was some collaboration also.
I need to learn what. Yeah. Well, we actually do have something planned that was supposed to happen last spring, but you know everything changed and yeah, so we didn't. But I think something's gonna happen between the two of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you do also a remix for Panic Girl, or that was only Albany?
I worked pretty hard last year around this time on a Panic Girl remix, and then a remix for this gamelan ensemble. And that gamelan thing is on a record. It's actually it's my second thing that was on vinyl. The Patch CV piece was on, Koguchide was on vinyl. But yeah, the Panic Girl one turned out really well. That was an experiment in a new approach, like more software instruments being triggered by the modular and more editing, actually, like a non-linear approach to making a track. Whereas using the modular is a non-linear approach, but when I'm performing, it's linear, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to use these non-linear tools to make a linear thing. But making a track, like, you can carve it. You can like do a little overdub of like one thing and layer it with another thing, and then just take another thing that wasn't even performed with it and be like, where does this fit? Maybe it'll fit here, like using the studio as a tool. The Beatles. It's amazing. Yes. Miles Davis, editing, right?
Yeah, the studio is a music instrument too.
Yes. So.
All right.
And Taylor Swift too. So.
More than Taylor Swift. Oh yeah, that's
peronosphora. I haven't heard the new Taylor Swift yet, so I didn't like the one before that. Whatever, that folk album, I wasn't into that, and I didn't like the one. I only like that one that was big, 1989. I think there's some good stuff on that. That producer, that Swedish producer, that makes all like beats and stuff, he's good.
I think she delayed. She delays the release of her album because Paul McCartney was releasing his.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard the McCartney thing yet. It's just called McCartney, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know, bluegrass, I would say.
Oh, weird. I would not expect that. Okay.
I don't know, I'm not sure I got my genre correct also.
Sure, like Americana or something. Great.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
All right, I think we need to wrap up the show.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go over the news, and I'll leave you the word for the end to say bye to everybody.
Great, thanks.
Okay, I'll put myself. Let me not be camera shy. So everybody, you know about pitchymango.org. Please visit it. Subscribe to my mailing list. I want to thank all my pitchymango.org supporters, which is basically on Bandcamp. You go support. I've got a new supporter, Patrick Coleman. So if you want to join, and usually I pre-release my album on Bandcamp first in the supporter section as I work on them, create the video, create everything. We've got the next resident that will be on January 12. Let me put the link. So it's open for people to sign up. You can sign up now and then come back to the form and add your YouTube video. Unlisted, less than 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be modular as long as it's your performance and your music. You've got also Resonant Frequency Live, so that's a live show. It's like we did today with a Lightbath, you performing live via the show. So it's I don't know, I'm very impressed. I'm stressing for only one performers, and they have got like 6 or 10 performers together doing some live stuff and plus video on top. So you know, I'm really impressed by what they are doing. Finally, don't go on my YouTube channel. in, what is it, less than an hour. I'm relaunching the streaming for Frequency Shift from the Southern California Synth Society. That will be part 1. We've got some really awesome performers, and there will be a little break, and at 3 p.m. part 2 is starting again. And come to part 1, you'll get part 2 too. Second part, I think I've got the link here. Can I copy it? Copy link address, sorry. Telling you that. So that's part 2 of the Frequency Shift. So it's a show dedicated to women and non-binary, and it's run by the Southern California Synth Society. So please come, and there will be also some interview. And 6 p.m. I'm on Modular Houston with awesome people. So you'll see me. So 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Houston time. And beside getting Lightbath album, where did I put it? Select Public Works Volume 5. I pick up some on my wish list coming up, so sorry. Like Intanfon, Actias, Tangle Waves, Side Mountain for Colorado Modular Society, and Kezeluna. I think that's about the news. There's a peak also every month. We just had it recently. That was last Wednesday. That was really awesome. It's on the third Wednesday of the month, and you've got Sonic Sunday, which took a break and is going to restart in January. So it's on the third Sunday of the month. It's organized by Fest. All right, I think I've got everything that I wanted to do. Oh, I forgot the last one. Hugo R. Paris has got Teeny Crush Missing, and you've got a discount code. If you want, let me type the link. So you've got a discount code for it. So if you want to get your modular mix, let me bring back Lightbath site and put you in the big screen. Here we go. So I leave you the word for the end. Thank you everybody for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow Lightbath everywhere on YouTube, Bandcamp, everywhere. All right, Lightbath, thanks for being here. You close the show.
Thanks for having me, Frank. Thank you to R. Benny for weaving the loaf. I just saw your woven loaf. I've now responded to it. If nobody knows what we're talking about, go listen to Longmont Potion Castle. He does prank calls, and he is the master at that. Thanks for having me on, Frank. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you all on the other side. I'll catch you all in the Lightbath zone. Yeah,
the Lightbath zone. Next show will be on 2nd January at 11, and it will be with All That's Gone. Thank you very much, everybody.